wait any longer, as people can still watch the recording. What we want to do this afternoon is basically 4 things. The first thing we need to talk about, which is part of the introductory class, we want to talk about the learner guide, or the learner guide. The second thing I want to talk about is tips on answering case studies, which is what we will be doing. The third thing I want to talk about is to just clarify on rules and etiquette around online behavior, particularly a common thing that we are noticing with students in view of online learning, being the prevalence of copying, the prevalence of plagiarism, the prevalence of dishonest behaviors. And I want to declare that up front, that we will not tolerate such actions where people go and cut and paste from the internet and place it into an answer, or cut and paste from the slides and place it as their answer, or even copy amongst themselves, or even be part of the process of hiring other people to do assessments for them. And we'll talk about that. And then finally, I will then close it off by asking you if you've got any questions or comments which we can entertain. I hope we'll take at max an hour for this. And then getting ready, that you'll be noticing the assessments, particularly case study 1 and assignment 1, which is based on those first couple of chapters 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't think we're covering 5, and then 6 for this month of September. And then for the month of October, we go into the second portion. So what I'm going to share on the screen is the learner guide. And I want us to go through the learner guide so that everybody understands what is expected of them, okay? Just to confirm, you can see the learner guide on your screen. You can type yes in the chat box if you can. You don't have to answer, you can just type I need to know, so that everybody is on the same page. Can you see the learner guide, which is a Word document written learning guide on the screen? Okay, guys, please respond. Can we see the learner guide? Tandile Mbi, can you see the learner guide? Vuvu, can you see the learner guide? Yamkela April, can you see the learner guide?
Yes, I can see it.
Thank you. Please talk to me as well, because there's no point in me continuing and people don't see. You can type in the chat box as well. Okay, so what we've got in front of you is the learner guide for the module, and I want to explain things that are in the learner guide as the first thing that we want to do. Please note, we will be writing out an email clarifying this. The reason why the 2 modules have got different course codes, one is BEC323, 323E, or the other one is BEC325, 325E, is because we're in the process of a phase out. Let's remove the video. We're in the process of a phase out, and because we're in the process of a phase out, the old curriculum would have the 8 credit value, which is the BEC323, and the new one would have the BEC325, which is 16 credits. We have received reports, some people who are doing the 323 were scared that the credits were not enough, and they've gone to add additional subjects. Please note, it's part of a phase out. So if you are registered for 323, please don't say you have to get extra credits so that you add to that. If you've got queries, please contact me or Mr. Chigori in East London, and we'll be more than happy to explain. The only thing that will be different, which we must explain from the onset, is that because one has got more credit bearing than the other, when we answer the questions, you will see that the guys who do the 325 component will always have an extra question, and that makes sense. So the first, if the assessment has got 2 questions, the first question is worth 10 marks, the second question is worth 15 marks. Those that are doing 325 will have a third question because obviously their credit value is more. You as a person, so the first 2 questions will be compulsory for both, and then the third one is only answered by those that are doing BEC325. And we need to please clarify that, because sometimes you get people doing 323 who end up just answering all the questions, and I just think it's not it's important that you know what you are registered for, because that will tell you what you need to answer. Our email addresses are there. What you will also find is that depending on your campus, a WhatsApp group has been created. So far, I must say the behavior on the WhatsApp groups have been very well. Often I prefer to block the WhatsApp group so that people don't post, because people just post things. So let's keep the WhatsApp group civil and not post things that can cause panic unnecessarily. If you're not sure about anything, contact the lecturer. The email addresses are there. In preference, I would say your first port of call would be the email address. The WhatsApp platform is just used as a way of immediate contact or reminders about announcements related to the course. So please note, we are available for consultation. You can contact us, we can contact you back if it means we arrange one-on-one via MS Teams. What is not happening is face-to-face contact. So most of our contact is going to be online. So just bear in mind that this is according to the directive that we have concerning COVID-19. Okay, so we welcome you to the department. The course has got the following modules. What we have done so far, and you will find the videos are available. These are the chapters that we have covered so far, and the videos are all available online. And these are the chapters from which the case study 1 and assignment 1 will be based on. Case study 1 and assignment 1 will be based on these 6 chapters whose videos are already available online. And the assessment, I think assignment 1 is coming up soon. The assessments will only cover those aspects in those cases. What will happen next, though, is in the month, so end of September, you then write case 1. And then we are going to be posting videos of how to answer case studies to help you to answer case studies. In the month of October, we then take a second shift and a gear. By the end of this month, all these other chapters from creating valuable capabilities to strategic control will be available. So in October, case study 2, assignment 2 will be based on chapters 7 to 13. And this is a nice way of managing the situation, particularly for you as students, because it gives you more control to the process. It gives you less stress. You just know that these are the chapters that you need to cover. So let's bear that in mind. The 2 assessments for this month, case study 1 and assignment 1, are only based on chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, and chapter 6. And then the other case, for October, case study 2 and assignment 2 will be based on chapters 7 to 13. So what does this mean? This simply means that there will be no further assessment outside the 4 assessments that you're going to write. What does it mean? So if I fail the case study 1, case study 2, and all these assessments, what does this mean? Can I not request a special exam? We will not be entertaining this because it's continuous assessment. Okay, and part and parcel of that is that there's a benefit. You will have more time to go and think about the answers that you'll be writing. You'll have, it will be timed, obviously, or over a day or two, which we'll explain a little bit later on. So there is no special exam, there is no supplementary and all of this. The final mark that you get from case study 1, case study 2, assignment 1, assignment 2 will be the final mark. So sometimes you get students who get a final mark of 40% or 45%, and then they come and say, is there anything that we can do or that you can do to just give me a special exam? There is no such thing because this is continuous assessment. And I wish to declare this, that please make sure that you are aware of this rule. We will not be entertaining, I've got 47%, can you push me at least to 50 so that I pass? It's my last outstanding module. We will not be entertaining that. And I want to just make that clear to everybody. Okay. All of our qualifications are based on what we call NQF levels. There is our NQF level 7. This is what we are expecting you to be doing. If you like, these are the rules of what writing and work at postgraduate level expects you to achieve in terms of what we call exit outcomes or learning outcomes that you can know. You will notice that there's a lot of reading, there's a lot of processing of knowledge. We will not ask you questions like define strategy. What are the advantages? We are not asking you that. We are going to ask you questions, and we'll show you some examples of the type of questions that we're going to ask you, where you will get long case studies. Sometimes these case studies will even be given days in advance so that you prepare yourself. Okay, the purpose of the course is there. You can read that. These are the specific outcomes. So for chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6, for the first assessments that we are going to cover, they are there. You can have a look at them. And then for the other ones, the videos will start being posted from chapter 7. Chapter 7 at the end of, from next week onwards. But all you need to worry about now is chapters 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. Okay, the lectures are all pre-recorded. What does that mean? That means that the video is already uploaded onto the Blackboard platform and onto the YouTube page. So you can easily watch it at any time. So there is no live lecture where we say everybody be here. Like for this module, I was expecting to see close to about how many people are registered for the module. In Alice alone, I was expecting to see 120 students. But it simply means some people have got other things they are doing, so we must pre-record. So this class will also be uploaded so that you can also catch up on it. And we will also be having what we call catch-up sessions in the different campuses, where your lecturers will take you through summaries, showing you how to answer case studies and so forth. These will also be arranged as per the different lectures. This is the textbook that we are using, Fenta. There is a new version, but we are not using the new version because it's not yet fully in circulation. So the Fenta textbook, it's a red textbook. It's actually, it's those in Alice. It's the textbook that we've used for our profile picture for the WhatsApp group. I'm trying to see if I've got it with me right now. We can send you the picture of it. It's a red textbook written Pete Fenta editor on it. Okay, do I have it? No, I don't. Okay, and then you will find that it's also available in the library, the different campus libraries. It's also available on short loans. Simply means you can borrow it from the library for a specific period of time. and then always return it back. Yeah. So it's a red textbook, so we have not shifted to the new textbook. We're just going to give it time so that you can have ample time to work at it and have that book with you. Please note, I'm aware some of you would have the book in circulation as a printed book, as a electronic copy. You are not allowed to circulate that electronic copy on the WhatsApp platforms. That counts as also copyright infringement. And please, 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 as the lecturers, we need to just declare we are not supporting the circulation of the book. There are people who obviously have made that book in the interest of a commercial interest, so we are not supporting its circulation purely because of also the copyright infringement aspect to it. So if you have that book on your phone as a whatever, that is illegal, and if somebody finds you with that book, you could be in trouble. I just want to declare that. So now, what we then have is the assessments. This is the assessments that we've made it easy for you. We have put all the assessments in 1 month. The first assessments, assignment 1, case study 1, CS1, CS2. Assignment 1, let's call it WA1, is the one that you will get, both actually, you'll have ample time to have it. And then you'll then have a case study 2 also put online. Case study 2 will only be answered, case study 1, sorry, will only be answered on Blackboard. So it will be a timed one on Blackboard. The assignment 1, we're going to make it slightly easier and more enjoyable for you. We're going to give you time to do research in terms of answering the question, and that will be available at the start of this month, and the case study 1 at the end of the month. And then when we go to October, chapter 7 to the last chapter, that will be case study 2 and assignment 2, and then we're finished. So how do you calculate the final mark? And I'm gonna explain again, because I know when the DPs are out, people will say, hey, but how do I calculate the final mark? Well, the final mark, your case study 1 mark, plus your case study 2 mark, plus your assignment 1 mark, which are all out of 100%, plus your written assignment 2, and then we add all of these. So if you get 50, 50, 50, 50, 4 50s, we add the 4 50s, and then we get what? 200. And then we say 200 divided by 4, which gives us what? 200 divided by 4, yes, 50. And then that becomes your final mark. Please note, for those that are answering BEC325E and BEC325, the 16 credit one, you will always have an extra question in your assessments. Okay, so this is the rubric we're going to work with. There is no special exam. There is no, can you push me? I've got 46%, 48%. I just need 2% to graduate. It simply means you have failed to meet the minimum requirement for the module. So let's look at the dates for the assessment. Case study 1 is going to be completed on Blackboard. It opens up on the 6th of September. I think the 6th is, let me see, next week, Wednesday. Okay. Next week, Wednesday. Yes. Next week, Wednesday, right? 6th, yes, next week, Wednesday. Assignment 1 is due on the 30th of September, okay, to be completed in a MS Word format and sent to the lecturer before, but this will be given probably mid-month. I will let you know when it will be given. This is an assignment, so we want to give you time. You'll have more time to work at it. But the fear I always have, because you have more time to work on it, some people leave it late, and the night before when it's due, what do? They then go and cut from the internet. they go and use paraphrasing tools, we will catch you out. Let me make that clear. Any form of plagiarism will score a 0. Any form of copying, 2 students submit the same answer or they've shared, we will not even try and investigate who did what, who copied from who. It's an automatic 0 because those are things we don't encourage. So plagiarized assessments will score a 0. Late penalties will apply, particularly to those assignments where we ask you to email the lecturer, like the assignment 1, assignment 2. The problem with case study 1 and case study 2 is that it will open up and it will close. Please note, it opens up on the 6th of September and it closes on the 9th of September at 23:59, before 23:59. So you must complete the assessment between that time period. If you don't, then you won't be able to do it. And what will simply mean is that you are likely going to you'll score a 0 there because you have not done the assessments. Please, 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 let's pay attention to these dates. And these are all there. This is continuous assessments. All assessments will be moderated internally and externally. There is no special exam or supplementary exam. That being said, we need to pay attention to that. Okay. Any questions about the learner guide, something that you're not clear about that you would like me to answer and direct towards before we go to the next phase? Any questions from the learner guide that you need clarity on? Okay, going once. Okay, all right. So what have we done? We've made your life easy. We've given you notes, which are summaries from the text. Please note, we are not going to ask you to copy from the notes directly and just paste it as an answer. Again, we will give you a 0 for that. So if we ask you a question, conduct a SWOT analysis for the industry that Kulula is operating within, okay? And then you go and take stuff from the notes and you just paste it into the answer. We have a way of finding out. We will pick that up and we will make sure that you don't score any marks for that because what we are asking you is a work of critical thinking and critical reflection. What we are going to post sometime next week, starting obviously from Sunday, maybe is a video to show you how to answer case study material. What does it entail to answer case study material? So we need to get that out of the way. This is not a cut and paste from the textbook. This is not a cut and paste from the internet. This is really calling you to think about the type of answer that you must give in view of the theory that you have been taught. Now, what I want to do is to show you an example of answering a case study and talk you through it. And then you can actually see for yourself what we are expecting. And we have put this on Blackboard and in the learner guide. Okay, so this question is a question that usually would come maybe in chapter, in the second portion of the work, because we have not covered industry analysis. It comes basically, I think, in chapter 8. The question here would have been, conduct an industry analysis, okay, for the sector in which Pick n Pay is operating within. Conduct an industry analysis for the sector in which Pick n Pay is operating within. And so the answer that would have been expected here is not for you to go and use keywords on Google, industry analysis, Pick n Pay, and then you just cutting and pasting. We will be watching out for that and we will give you a 0. The answer is then to go and sit with the theory that has been taught to you in class. So something that we have taught you in class, I think it was in chapter 2, we could ask the same question in this way. Conduct a SWOT analysis for Pick and Pay. Conduct a SWOT analysis for Pick and Pay. And then you know, okay, so what does the theory say? Well, a SWOT analysis is a tool that is used to gauge the strengths, weaknesses that exist within the company. It also looks at challenges related to the internal environment and the external environment in the form of opportunities and threats. Okay, that's theory. Good, you know the theory, but that's not the question. The question is then to say, using that theory, take us through a discussion of what is happening to Pick and Pay as a company and how we can come to understand where Pick and Pay stands in terms of the relative strength and the relative weaknesses internally and externally. And the critical thing here is therefore for you to look at that theory and say, the answer is not in all of this theory I know. The answer is found in me practically sifting through this theory to come up with an argument that relates to the question at hand, and particularly knowing also the information that is available. So what you will find is in most times we will give you a case study, and these will be made available from Monday onwards. Long case studies. So the one case study which I'm preparing right now for the case study 1 and case study 2, what we're going to do, we're going to make it one case study that will be used for both case study 1 and assignment 2. In the past, we would make them 2, but we're just going to make it 1, and where we'll just draw different questions based on chapters 1, 2, 3, 4, and chapter 6. And then we would say, okay, in chapter 2, you were taught about the SWOT. Conduct a SWOT for company A, B, C, and D. Here is the information about that company. Your first duty is not to go and download stuff from the internet. No. Your first duty is to go and look at the theory, understand the theory, be aware that you know what you are being asked in view of the theory that you're covering. And then the next thing that you then do is then to say, okay, I now need to formulate an answer guided by this theory. And that becomes critical, and that becomes very important in guiding and leading you through the way. So here is an example of somebody in exam conditions. And when I say exam conditions, I'm talking about 3-hour exam in the past before the pandemic, where people would sit in a lecture hall and answer questions. And you can see those that have looked at this case study, you can see that they were trying to integrate theory at the same time also referring to the case study. And that's another thing that you must be doing. Try and not negate what the case study information is there. And there's a reason why we give you 8 to 10 pages of case study material way ahead, because so that you'll be able to pick as much information as you can to try and assist in what you are trying to do. So there's also aspects of Porter's 5 forces framework. There's also, which we haven't covered, I will say to you, this will only come in chapter 8. But what I like about this particular response is that the responses, she's talking here about switching costs, the responses show a fair balance between what the theory says and also applying it also to the particular scenario of the case study that has been given. So from Monday onwards, we will post 1 or 2 videos that will help you to try and see how to answer a case study. And I'll talk through maybe an example of something that we have done in the chapters that you'll be expected to answer from. That's chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, and chapter 6. So that's important about the case study. The case study, you can see there is no definition, define, list. It's about writing wholesome sentences that are there to show that you are showing an understanding of the theory and what the theory and how it can be applied to the particular scenario that you're working towards. Okay, so that's the aspect of the case study. Any questions? We've covered the learner guide, we've covered the case study. I want to talk now about online behaviors. Okay, ever since we started teaching online, we have noticed the development of certain patterns of behavior. And these patterns of behavior manifest in people, number one, leaving their work late, okay? And then they then make up excuses why they can't complete assessments. Number two, copying amongst ourselves, and the common one, which I now urge you, go and change your Blackboard password, okay? Do not make your student number be the same password as your your student number be the same password as your for on Blackboard. Please change that password. And I'm going to write it as a follow-up, and Mr. Chigori from East London is also going to make it up as a follow-up. We will not entertain any queries to say somebody already entered into the system and wrote on my behalf. If you don't change your password, that is going to happen and you're going to get a 0. Okay? Go and change your password and make sure that you are the only one who can log in and you do not share it with other people. Other popular forms of behaviors that are questionable online, you will find that there are students who have passed this module who then get consulted and says, okay, for a fee, for 300 Rand, I will write to you your assessment. We have picked up 1 or 2, particularly in the second year cohort, and those people, we will take action on them, not only the ones that are doing it, but also the ones that are putting them into service and paying that this be done. We will not tolerate that where people are not doing their assessments, but they prefer to go and buy the service to somebody else. And then also there's the issue of copying from the internet, cutting and pasting from the internet. Sometimes I've picked up that is usually common, especially when people have left their assessment too late. They are panicking, they are stressed, they are worried. And so what do they end up doing? They end up cutting and pasting from the internet. Again, we will catch you out. You will have enough time to be able to work through your assessments. Please go and work through your assessments. And it is important that you change your password for your Blackboard account. We do not want, and I don't want to hear it, that somebody logged in and wrote the assessment for me. I will not accept that. Go and change your assessment. And then finally, the other thing that we must talk about, which is, I think, important, particularly to this module, there is need for you not to leave this too late. There is need for you to plan your answers, to get enough time to think about what you're writing. Sometimes people leave this too late, and when they leave it too late, that's when all the problems start, wanting to take shortcuts, wanting to circumvent processes, and wanting to make sure that they don't adhere to etiquette around online behaviors. Please don't leave this too late. That's why we tell you the deadlines in advance so that you are able to prepare, and you've got all of that in your learner guide and your course guide. You need to also read the textbook. You also need to read, don't rely on the notes, don't rely on the videos. Get yourself reading the textbook for yourself. Knowing what the theory says around certain things will also help you to be able to answer and respond in a positive manner. Okay, I think those are the aspects I wanted to cover. I will make this video available on Blackboard, so don't worry for those that didn't attend or were struggling. Are there any questions or comments people would like to ask or vent out or let out before we end this meet and greet session?
Hi, sir.
Yes.
Can you please just repeat the assessment dates?
Okay. I'm going to put them up on the screen.
Studies.
Yes, I'm going to put them up on the screen. But please make sure that you also go to Blackboard, because they are also available on Blackboard, and they've been available since we've started. But I'm putting them up on the screen. So next week on the 6th of September until the 9th of September, okay? The 9th of September by, let's add something here, by 23:59, before it becomes the 10th. Case study 1 is going to be available on Blackboard. What is also going to be available on Blackboard from Monday onwards is the entire case study, where the information you'll be asked to answer. So this is the information about the context that you'll be asked the questions on. So what will be available from the 6th are the questions, okay, that you'll be answering. The information will be available on Monday. So for Monday, you can log in onto your Blackboard and you'll be able to see a folder or a document written case study for September, meaning that is the same case study that will be used for case study 1 and assignment 1. So on the 6th of September, next week, Wednesday, you will then be able to start the assessment, okay, until the 9th of September. And then at the end of the month, somewhere to be completed in MS Word. Okay, again on Monday, what will also be available is assignment 1. But assignment 1 is only due at the end of the month and must be sent by email to your lecturer. Okay, and must be sent by email to your lecturer. It can be sent anytime. So if you finish the assignment and you want to submit, you can submit. We've got no problem with that, but your submission is counted as final. So if you come with the assignment a week after and you say this is the final, that will be regarded as the final. But you have until the 30th of September to submit it by email to your lecturer. And then we go to case study 2 and assignment 2. Around the end of September, I will then post a case study, a long case study, from which the context will be found. And then you can open up from the 11th of October until the 13th of October. You will have, you can now answer those questions for case study 2. And also you will have the question for assignment 2, which must be submitted before the 1st of November. So roughly by the 10th of November, we will know your final marks and any other information, those that have passed and those that have failed. Okay? Any other questions, comments, or queries?
So
yes, go ahead.
September is on Mondays.
The what?
The 6th of September is on Mondays.
Yes, what's the problem with Monday?
So you said the case study will be available on Wednesday.
Okay, let's go back. maybe you also missed that part. Okay, case study 1 will be available on the 6th of September. And the 6th of September is on, is it Monday or Wednesday? It's Wednesday. Is it me? But I think it's Wednesday. Oh, it's Monday. Okay, it's Monday. Yes, it's from Monday onwards. So what we will have to do then is to try and make the case study, the whole entire case study, be available from over the weekend, maybe on Saturday or Sunday. but you will have time. You must first read the case study. Okay, so that's why you've got the 6th, the 7th, the 8th, and the 9th to be able to do so. So the 6th of September is a Monday, and the case study is due on Thursday by 1 minute to midnight. So if you try and submit at midnight on or after Thursday, it will be Friday morning. It will not work. Okay. Yeah, but the dates, don't worry about the confusion with the dates, whether it's a Monday. These are the dates, 6 September to 9 September. Okay, any other queries, comments, or questions before we close? Okay, going once, twice. Okay, I will make the video available so you'll be able to download the video by what time is it? 15:46. So by 4:30, the video will be available on your Blackboard forum. Okay, Walter.
Okay, thank you, sir. I would like to understand clearly on my side regarding the way we answer the case study, right? For example, if we have been given the question, is it possible? Or let me try to take it in this way, right? If I want to answer the question, can I start by giving the idea theoretically, then from that idea relating to the case study, am I supposed to link that idea relating to the case study, trying to apply the concept or into practice the idea that I gave at first, trying to link it into practice? Is it the way that are we supposed to answer?
All right. Okay, so let's give an example. I'm going to put up a screen, okay, of what a typical case study looks like. This is an article written by Ray Matlaka yesterday, where Ray writes, "Flying solo, South African Airways will have to stand on its own after Treasury ushers in a new era of no bailouts to state-owned enterprises." Let's read the article together. Nice picture of SAA. Okay, here we go. Weaning South African Airways off the fiscus for its survival is part of Treasury's new approach to cutting bailouts and government guarantees to unproductive and loss-making state-owned enterprises. South African Airways 2.0 won't depend on financial assistance, let's zoom it in, from the government for its survival in the future, with its interim management pledging that the collapsed airline will be self-reliant by using its balance sheet to fund operations and raise capital in debt markets. The undertaking by South African Airways management is that the airline will no longer be awarded taxpayer-funded bailouts or government guarantees, which have added to the strain on South Africa's public finances, especially in the past decade. The financial costs of keeping South African Airways airborne have been enormous. Between 2008 and 2020, cash bailouts to the airline amounted close to 21.5 billion. When South African Airways business rescue cost 16.4 billion is included, the taxpayer-funded support to the airline grows to a total of 38.4 billion. Weaning South African Airways off the fiscus for its survival is also part of Treasury's new approach to cutting bailouts and government guarantees to unproductive and loss-making state-owned enterprises. The extension of government guarantees has enabled commercial banks to haphazardly pump debt worth billions of rands into South African Airways, even though there was no business case to do so, as the airline has been insolvent and last turned a profit in 2011. The script has also played out with state-owned enterprises, including Eskom, South African Airways, Express, and Denel as banks threw money at these entities knowing they were not creditworthy. Ray continues to write, and I won't read everything. So the question I would ask here, okay, you'll have this information. Suppose this was the case study I was giving you. You'll have this information, and then the question would simply read, conduct a SWOT analysis for South African Airways. 15 marks. Conduct a SWOT analysis for South African Airways. And that's just how it is. It's not, I'm not even going to say your SWOT analysis must include blah, 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 blah. SWOT analysis. Now, your part is to say, okay, what is a SWOT analysis? Please, I'm not saying your part in writing it down. First, go and read the theory. SWOT analysis stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. It shows the relative strengths of a brand internally and the happenings externally. It also shows those things that a brand is strong at, or what are known as capabilities, but it also shows you those things that an organization may be weak at, and those are things that an organization should be able to improve. So by addressing its threats, the company can come up with strategies that help it to be able to perform better. That's what the theory is saying in the textbook. You then go and say, okay, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. I want to first answer the first part of the question. What are the strengths of South African Airways? Okay, and then you start reading the case study again, and you go back to the case study and you say, okay, they won't depend on financial assistance from the government in the future with its okay, that's not a strength. The undertaking is that the airline will no longer be awarded taxpayer. Okay, that was actually a threat. The financial costs of keeping SAA, ASA business rescue. You're looking for strengths. The extension has enabled commercial banks to pump debt into billions, even though there was no benefit. The script has also played out. Okay, you're looking for strengths. And all of these are actually weaknesses. What does the interim CEO, Thomas Ngokolo, told Parliament on public that the airline will have to do for the first time in many years, fund its operations mainly through the revenue it generates from ticket sales. It's generating revenue through the funding that it gets from ticket sales. Okay, a strength of the new South African Airways brand is that it is deviating from a model where it was just being pumped money in for its survival. A strength here is that it's now going to be directly making money through sales that are coming from its own income. How is that a strength? Well, it affects aspects related to sustainability. Sustainability, we have covered issues of sustainability. What type of sustainability are we looking at it here? We're not just looking at financial sustainability, which is, making ends meet at the end of the day, but we're also looking at the type of sustainability that relates to the overall situation. Because the reason why South African Airways is in this mess that it's in is simple. South African Airways is in this mess because in the past, it was simply just relying on government bailout. So already, this is a strength of the new brand, not just a strength, but also an opportunity. How is it an opportunity? Well, it's an opportunity because the company has had a historical track record. Where does it say here? That between 2008 and 2020, it has had a historical track record of getting money pumped into it to the tune of 21.5 billion. So the opportunity for the new South African Airways is to finance itself and to be sustainable in the long run. I am not asking you to define what a SWOT is. I am asking you to make a link between what the theory says and evaluating that information to the information in the case study. In so doing, you are now able to be reading the case study critically instead of reading the case study to just be descriptive. And if you are not sure, please go and read that example, how to answer a case study. We are asking you to make critical discussions between what the theory is saying and what is happening in reality. Are we together? Okay. Any other questions before we close? Okay. All right. So we will make the video available. I will put out all the other instructions that you need. Yes, I know in the chat box, the Monday is the 6th, not Wednesday. Yeah, the important thing is the 6th. I note the correction. Yeah. And please, 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 we will not tolerate plagiarism. Plagiarism is out. And we will make an example of that. I am not afraid to give you a 0 on the plagiarism aspect. So make time to read the case study. Don't leave this too late. Make time to read the notes that we have given you and show us that you've got an understanding of theory and interaction with the case study. Okay. If there are no other questions, I think we can call it a day. At the end, I will upload the video. Okay. Thank you very much. Have a good day.